prison, McNeil Island, Washington. A remote outpost rising from the chilly waters of Puget Sound, some 40 miles from the city of Seattle. Throughout its history, this isolated fortress has been the scene of daring escapes.
I didn't feel like doing the 10 years.
And intense violence.
One of the convicts had a knife handle sticking out of his head here, and the blade came out up here.
He had been stabbed, I don't know how many times, but he was very dead.
Soon after, he moved to Spain and died there in 1979. In 1965, McNeil Island received a confident and resourceful inmate named Jerie Bremmeyer. One thing sets him apart from the thousands of other men who have been jailed here. Bremmeyer successfully escaped.
It wasn't a question of whether I could get away with it. It was just something I didn't feel like doing the 10 years.
Bremmeyer had been convicted of bank robbery.
What made me rob a bank is I was running short of money, and I had a wife and 3 kids to support. And the old saying used to be, if you want groceries, go to the grocery store. If you want money, go to the bank.
While at McNeil, Bremmeyer worked in the carpentry shop and sometimes had assignments outside the prison's fence.
I started my escape from out a house down the road down here that they needed a cabinet maker on, and that was me. And I broke away from there when the guard had his back turned and made it down into the woods and down to and back at the community center.
A search plane was dispatched from the mainland.
I had an Army fatigue coat on, so the plane's coming over. When I'm halfway through that field, I just pull it over my head and curl up like a rock. Maybe they mistook me for a rock or a deer, but anyhow, they went right over me.
Bremmeyer made it over an embankment and dropped down to the shoreline. He found scrap wood and rope along the beach and fashioned a crude raft.
And right in this point here, I came down the bank here and hid into the water and said adios to McNeil Island.
Bremmeyer floated and swam to nearby Anderson Island, where he stole a boat and eventually made it to the mainland. 3 days later, he was arrested in Olympia, Washington, and sent back to the remote confines of McNeil Island.